welcome to Thursday Thoughts. My name is Lisa McDaniel, and I am the author and owner of NuSeasn.com. I want to first of all say Happy New Year to everybody. Thank you for being so faithful and always doing your best to join us on Thursdays for our Thursday Thoughts. I also want to thank you for liking, sharing, and commenting and posting on our website. If you haven't had the opportunity, please feel free to go to www.NuSeasn.com and like us, follow us. We have some good information for you. We feel like it can enhance your life. Outside of that, welcome to Thursday Thoughts. Today's topic is going to discuss or address why do people lie? So what I need y'all to do is I need you to go into the comments. I need you to join the discussion and give me your idea or your thoughts on why people lie. I did a little, I do my research and I try to get information for you guys to be able to go off of what the statistics show or what the information is out in the world right now on whatever topic we're having. So today I did a little research on why people lie, and you will be amazed at some of the reasons why people lie. I think sometimes people deceive themselves by thinking that they're not really lying, they're just withholding information. And I kind of agree with everybody is not privy to all of your information, but I think that we have to live our lives in our own truth. That's someone always tells me, in our own truth, and we have to, at the end of the day, do what's best for us. In doing that, I have come to the realization that people lie. Do I lie? Absolutely. It's human. I think we all at some point tell, even if it's a little white lie, we all are not as honest as we could be, and that's what I am calling, or that's what I'm referring to when I say, do I lie? I am a very guarded person, so I don't always give people all the facts or all the information that they may want from me, but I am very open about the information that I choose to share, and I would like to think that I'm very honest about that. Research says that the number one reason why people lie is because they want to be liked. Hey, Christy, please feel free to chime in, which I'm sure you will when you get ready to have a comment or something that you want to share. Hey, Michelle, I need both of y'all to chime in so that y'all can give us your opinions on why people lie. I also want to tell you up front that I am running Thursday Thoughts solo tonight, so I'm going to need y'all to just work with me here because my assistant is unable to be here tonight. Anyways, hey Norris, so chime in, tell me what you think about our topic today on why people lie. But let me get back to the topic, to the subject of what I was saying. The number one reason why people lie is because people want to be liked. So why do y'all feel like people have such a desire to be liked? Or I would even take it a little step further, to be accepted, that they feel like they have to lie. Are they lying because they want to portray an image of something that's maybe more popular? Are they wanting to be in the in crowd? Are they just wanting to be like somebody else and not authentically who they are? What is it? I guess I've never, I can't recall a time where it was so important for me to be liked by someone else. I think that I've always wanted to be, I guess, accepted maybe. I don't ever want to be mistreated. I guess that's how I would word it, and maybe it all means the same thing, but to me, I want to be respected. Let's put it that way. I want to be respected. Whether or not you like me is fine, because to each their own. I don't necessarily like everybody or like other people's opinion on certain things, but I'm going to respect them, and I think that is what's most important to me, is that a person respects me. So I've never really gone through the phase of not, like wanting to lie to be somebody else. I've pretty much always been okay with being who and what I am. I think that sometimes we have to act according to our surroundings, And so that at times may cause, specifically for myself, may cause me to withhold certain information or not put myself out as far as my personal life. But I think that that's a choice that I make, which is not a lie. It's just me guarding who and what I am and what means the most to me. Michelle says, a lie is a big word, laugh out loud. Most people are just withholding information. I agree. So we're going to talk about some other types of lying. So, Michelle, since you said that, let's get on the topic of some people lie to manipulate others. Okay, so I think you may have a different perspective if you look at it from that point of view. People that lie to manipulate others. That was one of the other main reasons that came up as to why people lie. A matter of trust. Lying creates an uncomfortable situation because we expect others to treat us honorably and tell the truth. And when you don't tell the truth, people don't really honor you or look at you the same. I think that for me, when you lie, blatantly lie, and I guess a lie is a lie is a lie all day. But I think sometimes people blatantly lie. So to me, if you tell me that you're going to do something and you just don't do it, and you don't acknowledge that you're unable to do it, to me, you lied to me. And to me, that's a totally different issue than you just telling me you're going to do something and you know you had no intention on doing it. There's a difference. And I think intention is what kind of keeps the gray area in lying for deceit or lying with good intention, but I just wasn't able to do it, or it just wasn't able to happen, or I needed to protect myself, or it was just the best thing for me to say for whatever reason. I know a lot of times people don't tell the truth when asked certain things because they're protecting something, they're protecting someone, they're protecting their own image. There's a lot of people that have images out here. Let's just say, for instance, you could be the CEO. Let's just hypothetically speak. You could be the CEO of a major company. You might not want everybody to know you're the CEO. So if you're at a social gathering, you might want to say, if they say, hey, what is your profession? What do you do for a living? You know what? I work at HR at Spirit. Maybe he works at Spirit, but he's the vice president. There's a big difference from working in HR at Spirit and being the VP of Spirit. Totally different. But I think sometimes we get in that gray area and we just don't know the intention of a person. And I think that we have to remember that when we're dealing with why people lie, or is it a lie, or should I take offense because they lied to me. I think we have to remember that. And I think we also have to be forgiving, because I don't always think people's intention is to mislead or misguide you in any way. Nor says, I think you said it, acceptance is one of the main reasons why. It has a broad scope as to why, but I think ultimately it's just an individual's personal reason as to why they tell stories like you said. So, North, are you saying that telling a story is telling a lie? Is that the same thing? Because we called it stories when I was little, and I just want to make sure that that's what you're addressing, is the fact that somebody is lying is the same as telling a story. So please chime in and let me know if that's what you're meaning as far as lying. So one of the other reasons, let me see, why people lie is there could be a serious issue, and they could be a compulsive or a pathological liar. Now, these are just people that make up lies, they live a lie, they tell lies, they are a lie, just nothing that flies out their mouth is the truth. Those are the people that you need to be aware of, y'all. Now, I'm not saying that those of us that tell little white lies to protect our image, to protect our lives, to protect our family, just to protect ourselves and keep our guard up, are doing anything right, because you don't necessarily have to lie. I think we withhold the truth is, okay. So Nora says, I was brought up with stories, not lies. Okay, so he's referring to the same thing. All right, I get it. It's probably a respect thing for you, and I understand that. Because it just sounds a little bit better. But I think even the fact that we were raised to say you're storying instead of you're lying puts a softened effect on the fact that it still means that you're not telling the truth. I'm not just throwing you under the bus, but I'm just saying that I think society, in calling it or softening exactly what we're doing by calling it a story instead of a lie, has also made it downplayed it a little bit. But anyways, so these compulsive liars, y'all, you gotta watch out for them. They can be dangerous. These are people that their intention, in my opinion, is not well. In the same respect that I'm saying that, I'm also knowing that there are people that have illnesses. Nor says, please, that didn't soften those whoopings I got. Okay, so we all got a few whoopings. I think one of the biggest whoopings I got from my mama was because I lied, and she looked me dead in my face and knew I was lying, and yeah, that's the reason why I got it too. So Nichelle says, I don't think you should take offense if a person lies. Some people ask too many questions and be all in your business, so you feel like you have to lie. And if you say none of your business, they get all in their feelings and offended. So it's better just to tell them a little lie to get them to keep on moving, laugh out loud. Now, Michelle, because we're Christians here, I have to teach you that you should not lie. But I said when I first began talking about lying, and I do understand, I so get it, because I am the most guarded person. I'm a protector of my peace and a protector of my business. At the end of the day, what I do is not everybody's business, and sometimes you do have those encounters. What do y'all do when you have those encounters with people that just want to be all up in your business? They want to know who you got, what you doing, how much money you make. I mean, it's just all over the place. And so if you tell them none of your business, they mad and don't like you. But if you just tell them a little white lie, they go on about their business. So what do you do? Since that was brought up, I want to know what y'all think about that, because I'm a firm believer in not putting everybody in my business. I'm a firm believer that most of my business is none of your business, but I don't want to come off as rude sometimes too. So does that go back and make me a person that wants to be accepted, or am I just trying to get along and get you out my business and out my face? What does that make me? So let's talk about that, y'all. Come on. I am so excited, Nichelle, that you brought that up, because I think that is very, very true. Christy says, let's first speak of foundation non-truth begins with teaching and training safety at an early age. Parents and grandparents. Kids need to feel safe at speaking their truth appropriately. Non-truth begins early and grows. Those who do it to be accepted are struggling with esteem issues. Not liking themselves, not being true to self is dangerous. Okay, so yes, Christy, I agree there. But I also agree that, so how do we teach our youngins, how do we teach our smaller children not to lie, but they should protect themselves? So how do we teach them the difference? We tell you, oh, don't tell that lie. But if they are 12 and it's $10 cheaper for them to go to the movie, if they say they're 11, we tell them, say you're 11. What do we just teach them? I am just so like, because we do that. I am guilty. I am guilty as charged because I have done it. And what did I teach my child? That they should lie. They thought it was funny, and I probably laughed at the same time too. So what's the difference? Back to putting your business out there. What do we do? What do we do? Because that is a prime example, especially for me as an adult, as a woman. I don't want everybody in my business. People always don't have good intentions. I'm trying to make sure I politically say this right, because I don't want to offend anybody. Christy says, yes, that's none of your business. And it's not anybody's business, but I think people are so bold and they don't keep boundaries. And I think that's what causes those of us who don't want everybody all in our business, or don't want to just put all of our, whatever we have going on in our life on public display. That's when we kind of put the guard up and we either withhold information or we give you a non-truth because we don't want you all in our business. So how y'all handle that? Nora says, tell them to take 6. Take 6 months to take 6 months to mind your business and 6 months to stay out of mine. Oh my Lord. Okay, Christy said, don't do that. To lie. Chandra Lewis says she is guilty. Okay. Christy says guard your truth with the truth. And Christy also says stating I don't care to share that. Okay. Now, I'm just going to put this out there. I think that is such a marvelous response to say, I don't care to share that. So if somebody comes up and says, hey, Lisa, who are you dating? And I say, why am I more comfortable saying nobody versus I don't care to share that? Why? Because society would rule, our community would rule me saying I don't care to share that means it's being rude. But why is it rude? Why is it rude? Because the real truth is I don't care to share that. The real truth is I don't think it's none of your business. And the real truth is if I wanted you to know, you would already know. But why am I not comfortable with saying I don't care to share that versus just saying I'm not? Why do I feel compelled to say I'm not when at 42 I should just be okay with saying I don't care to share that? Maybe I'll practice that. I don't care to share that. So come on, y'all, tell me why. Why are we more comfortable with giving somebody a softened answer when we really can tell the truth and be just as polite? But are you going to take that as being rude? Are you going to take that as being polite? Or are you going to take it for what it is, which is actually the truth? I don't care to share that information. Christy says, okay. Cheryansky says, it's rude for you to be in my business. It is rude for people to be in your business, but how do you stop people from being in your business? Because society has taught people to think they can ask you what they want because they have a freedom of speech. So how do we address that? How do we address that? Christy says, are you pleasing yourself first? You owe yourself. I know. I get that. Yes, I do think we should please ourselves first, and I think how you feel, how I feel should be of most important to me, and that should be number one. But the person that I am always wants to look after how somebody else is going to feel when I'm done engaging or interacting with them. So how they walk away is important to me. Even those that I don't want to say are my enemies, and they're definitely not my frenemies, but people that I don't associate with all the time, and I'm perfectly okay with that. Let's put them in that category. I still don't want to walk away with them feeling ill or like I was being intentionally rude or I was going out of my way to be disrespectful in any way. So how do you address it there? How do you do that? Tia says, ask me no questions and I will tell you no lies. That is so... That sounds good, but that doesn't work for people. People are going to ask because they want to know. So Yvette says, we need to learn to be comfortable saying what we really want to say. And I agree there. And so going forth from today, I am going to be more comfortable about truly addressing people when they ask me. I have people ask me very out of the pocket type of stuff. And I'm always thrown because people say things and I'm like, did you just ask me that? Did you really just say that? Like, it baffles me. And nobody thinks that certain topics should be off the table. People think that they should be open to all your business and whatever your truth is. And because they can ask you, you owe them a response. And I think that's what it is I'll call myself out. I feel like if someone asks me something, then I owe them a response. And maybe I need to be more vocal about, I'm not comfortable with giving you that information, or it's not my duty to provide you with a response, or I don't know. But I think for me, I've just gotten in the habit of saying, I don't know, or nobody, or whatever, but not directly responding to the question, but probably misleading in one way or the other because I don't care to tell you my business. Cleta says, I love your responses, Christy Washington. The truth will always set you free. Telling the truth most times shut that nosy behind up. Y'all right. Y'all are so right. And maybe when I grow up, I'm going to be better at it. And I'm not saying that I intentionally lie to people or I intentionally mislead them, but I really want you not to be in my business. So in order to do that, what are you doing today? Nothing. Well, I really might be doing something today, but I don't want to tell you about it because it's none of your business, and maybe it's something I just want to deal with on my own. So I don't know. Christy says the response of your truth. Cheryansky says, I started telling people I ain't got nothing to do with that. But do you really have something to do with that, Cheryansky? Or is that just a response that you are giving because you don't want to go into detail? That's what I really want to tackle tonight. You know, how do we live in our truth but guard the information that is sacred to us? And when I say sacred to us, meaning it's important to me, so I don't feel like I need to share it with everybody else, because a lot of times we share sacred information and it gets tossed, turned, and before you know it, it's so far from the truth that it's not even, it distorts. It distorts your truth. It distorts your situation. It distorts how you feel or how that person feels. Or it may even have a direct effect on your family, on you. It could be your job. It could be your church. It could be whatever. So come on, somebody tell me, how do you change that? How do you really get people to back off of you and stay in their lane without being rude? Tia says, I think it depends on who it is. Everyone does not need to know your business. I think there's a tactful way of saying I do not wish to disclose that. Okay, so I want to hear more of y'all saying to people, I do not wish to disclose that information, because some of y'all I know personally, and I know you don't use that response. I know I'm not the only person who struggled with saying basically to somebody, stay out of my business because you're being too nosy. Let's see. Deborah Smith Coulter says, sweetie, you just got to say it in love and stop worrying about others' feelings, because most times they're doing nosy and sharing your business anyway. Use your spiritual boldness. Now, there is a word right there, and that's what I need to stand in. So thank you so much, Miss Deborah. I do always try to be cautious of how I engage with other people, or how I address them, or even respond, because that means a lot to me. That's how I was taught. But I think even in being taught that I was also taught that it wasn't okay to tell people to stay in their lane. But I'm going to find a tactful way. If I don't do anything else, y'all taught me something tonight. I think I've done a little bit for myself. Yay! But anyway, so North says, you can be as polite as ever, but a person will feel how they feel no matter how you put it. You can't always worry, for lack of a better term, about how they feel, especially if the answer was, I don't care to share that, with a big smile on your face. People have a tendency to push, and it's your obligation to yourself to maintain your peace in regards to your life. Doesn't mean you don't care for them. It just means that you have to watch your own back, because everyone isn't for you. Now, that is the truth. I agree. Christy says, tell the truth. I don't care to share that information with you. Christy also says, Christy, why do we have exclamation marks? Because what you're saying is coming off in your comments to me like you angry, like you're screaming at them. So are you just telling me that I need to live in telling people the truth, and just saying I don't care to share that information? I'm going to keep saying that so I can practice it just. Christy also says, either you're going to get that or the brutal truth that ain't none of your business. Okay, well, I'm gonna start practicing that. I think that it's very important that we owe it to ourselves, we owe it to the people we're around, and we definitely probably owe it to the people that are asking questions that really don't pertain to them and lack importance in their life, to keep them out of our business. Yeah, so I kind of like that. I learned a new line tonight. I don't care to share that information with you. Now, y'all, if I don't come back next week and tell you that I've been using that, then I need y'all to have some more suggestions for me, because I really do, y'all. And I think that that's probably one of the areas of my life that still needs to mature, because I really am, while I live a very guarded life, I struggle with being a people pleaser and wanting to aid and help everybody. And sometimes that's just not possible. And sometimes a lot of people that I engage with or interact with ask questions that they really have no business asking, or ask things of me that they really should not be asking. And it falls sometimes in a gray area where I really don't know if I am being rude, if I say just you are out of line, that's none of your business, or if I'm just uncomfortable with answering that question. Because I always want to be the person that is available, be the person that listens, be the person that is honest, be the person that is transparent. And sometimes transparency can get you in trouble and cause you to go to heights of honesty that everybody is not capable of being in that space. I guess for a lack of better way to say that. So I think that that's what we have to do. Michelle says, good advice from everyone, but that is easier said than done. I'm going to try that with my church folks, and we will see how that goes. Well, Michelle, you have arrived. So, especially church people, and I love my church people. I have people that go to church in my life, to all different churches, all different denominations, but let's just keep it 100. Sometimes church people feel like them of all people have a right to be in your life. If you go down for prayer, they want to know what you're going for, who you're praying for, what you're doing it for, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. If you say this, and then if I was to give that response to some of the people in my church, it would be, like, all hell probably would break loose, especially because my mom was a pastor there. So a lot of times because of that, I get a whole lot of questions and requests and asks, and a lot of times I really do want to just kind of go in my shell and not engage, but that's not a place where I'm comfortable, because I think that a lot of times people see my mom in me. So sometimes I have to go outside of myself, and I don't want to, but I think that that's my calling, and that's what I have to do. That's my sacrifice, is myself. But I have to learn that I don't have to tell them all my business and my sacrifice and my ministry and my doing what I'm supposed to be doing to help somebody else. So, Michelle, I think we're going to try that, but I think you and I both know what the response will be. Church people feel like you have an obligation to allow them in your world. And church folks or not, you don't have a right. So we're going to see how far. Michelle, I want you to report back to Thursday Thoughts and let us know how that works for you. If any of you guys on this that are watching live that go to church and you have encountered someone that you go to church with that have asked you something and you feel like they were way out of their lane, how did you address them? Because I always want to be respectful, but you especially want to be respectful when you're in church, when you're in the house of the Lord. Cleta says, make sure when you say it, you give the look to them. You give the look to let them know and feel they should stay in their own lane. So I should be saying, I can't do it without laughing, but I should be saying, that is information that I do not wish to share. But that's rude. I'm already perceived as sometimes as being mean or standoffish just because I'm not a touchy-feely type of person. I can be if we have that relationship, but that's not naturally who I am. I'm not going to come up and hug a stranger and I'm just not going to do that unless I am moved, and that just doesn't happen all the time. So I'm going to practice my facial expressions, because my facial expressions will probably give off some other things that are not very positive when I tell them that I do not wish or I do not care to share that information. Deborah says, excuse me, but they're normally the ones spreading your business. Well, I am not going to say yay or nay there. I think that in this group we all have our opinion, but I will say that I have encountered some very hurt feelings behind church people and the telling of business or the lack thereof the truth, or I'm going to do something and I don't do it. But I think I have had to remember, Miss Deborah, that even church people sin. Even church people get it wrong. Even church people make mistakes. And so I'm learning to be forgiving across the board to everybody. And I'm learning to practice forgiveness on a daily basis because I want God to forgive me. So I'm going to say that with regard to the church and the church people spreading your business. At the end of the day, things can get bad, but I do feel like sometimes people in the church feel an obligation or they feel like you're obligated to give them your truth and your business and your life and what you have going on. North says, you ain't got to roll your eyes to say that. Well, see, that's the problem, North. I don't know how to say that and still, and not come across as having an attitude, because that's just the person who I am. So maybe I'll practice not rolling my eyes, and I'll just say, I am not willing to share that information. But see, I don't even know how to say that without just holding my eyes like wide open and not blinking, because otherwise it's going to come off as I'm rolling my eyes. So anyways, Chrissy says, is that rude or truth? We say truth ruffles feathers sometimes. Give it. Oh my goodness. So we really are concerned with taking care of others and negating ourselves. No wonder we're broken. Church people are just like anyone else. People, you owe them nothing as well. Cleva says, no, it is not. People hear what they want to hear and believe what they want to. So just say what you want to say and move on to the next topic. All right, so it has been 30 minutes. Y'all know I try to keep to my time. Today's topic was on why do people lie. If you have something more that you want to say, or if you want to revamp this topic next week, hey, Ed, we can do that. We can discuss why people lie. If you have a topic that you want to discuss next Thursday for Thursday Thoughts, or any Thursday that we have our live feed, please inbox me or text me or send us an email. We will get your topic on the line. For the most part, nothing is off limits. We get open discussion. We talk. We support each other. We love one another. It is a safe zone here. I love you guys. I appreciate y'all. I am going to practice saying I don't feel like sharing that information. So I'm going to practice that. I'm going to work on that. And don't forget to like, share, comment. Please invite your friends to join us on Facebook at NuSeasn. I love you guys. Have a wonderful week. Happy New Year. Work on you. Work on being and living life with purpose, on purpose. I love you. I'll see you next week. Bye.